Hey guys, welcome to Ringsiders Wrestling. I am Jamie, he is Callum, and our guest today, the ace of space, Leon St. Giovanni. Hello, how are you?
How's it going, guys? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Not a problem, man.
Pleasure. How are you anyway? How's life over there?
Life is good. I mean, considering everything that's happening here in the United States, life is good, especially if you're a wrestler. There's plenty of work. I'm pretty busy, so I can't complain.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, we've spoken to quite a few people during the pandemic, and one thing everyone's saying is it's just good to be busy while this is happening. If you can still wrestle, that's the main thing. If you can still train, at least you're still able to get in the ring. Obviously, yourself, you've still been able to wrestle. You're part of Ring of Honor. So what's it been like for you the last few months then? Has it been much different to usual?
It's a little bit different because, outside of Ring of Honor, because Ring of Honor doesn't have any fans at all.
Yeah.
The independent scene is very strange right now because you can only have a limited capacity crowd, and a lot of the events are actually happening outside. And now that we're approaching wintertime, that's going to stop soon. So, and actually, a lot of the states here in the United States are completely closing down. So I was supposed to do an event today, actually, in Colorado across the country, but that state is completely shut down. So I have a feeling we're gonna hit a hiatus for a while. I think we're about to hit a break.
Yeah, that's what's happened here at the moment. We haven't had a wrestling show in the UK for about. Well, have we had one this year, Jamie? As the reason, I don't.
You're looking. I don't think we've had one since maybe February, March time. It's been completely just dropped for the year. We're looking probably springtime 2021 before we get a show over here. It's just it's insane. It really is. I mean, we're on lockdown again now as well, so nothing's going on at the moment.
Right. So, are you guys having like studio tapings or closed tapings? I know WXW was doing that.
We've only got NXT UK at the moment. That's the only company running shows in the UK. Yeah, WXW are doing closed studio, which is good. But in the UK, there is only NXT UK, which is crazy to think of because, I mean, that is British wrestling, but at the same time, it's still WWE. So there's nothing homegrown here at the moment. The only thing keeping us going is the American Indies. We've been watching more American indie wrestling than ever because really it's just that in New Japan right now. So yeah, I mean it's great that we've still got wrestling in America.
I'm just curious. What do you guys watch? I'm just curious. What do you watch?
Everything. We watch. We've really been getting into Warrior, Freelance, Black Label, Synergy. Nice. Cool. A lot of Chicago-based promotions, but we were saying to Jamie the other day, like, I know it's not indie, so to speak, it's Ring of Honor, and everyone knows how good Ring of Honor is, but the product especially over the pandemic, to me, has improved. I think Ring of Honor is really like fine-tuned a few things in this time, especially with the Ring of Honor Pure tournament. I thought the presentation of that was incredible. Like the stats that they're showing on the screen, the way they dealt with no fans, I thought was really good because it didn't seem like there wasn't any fans. You knew there wasn't, but it wasn't awkward like WrestleMania was, where you could hear a pin drop and it was very awkward. I think Ring of Honor has done really good to tackle the pandemic. What's it been like for you? Wrestling without the fans, I know that must be a huge part of a match and wrestling in general. So how's it been for you?
Right. So I did the last set of tapings at the Ring of Honor bubble, and I had two matches. Obviously, no fans, but the atmosphere, there was a different atmosphere this time, and I feel like, especially with this match with Jay Lethal that's airing this weekend, I was so I guess focused on the match. I didn't even care that there weren't any fans.
Yeah.
And I feel like that actually helps the match because it almost feels like a real fight.
Right.
Because when you're in a real fight, you're not worried about anybody else. You're worried about your opponent. And I feel like everybody's in that like killer instinct. They've got that killer mode. So I think right now, actually, people are embracing it. I definitely embraced it for those two matches that I had, and I will be, with the next set of tapings too. So I think we've all adapted to it, and I think we all actually enjoy it. That's the consensus. The guys, was talking to the guys, they actually like it.
That's good. I mean, like you said, I hadn't really thought of it that way, where it's more like a real fight without the fans, because in a real fight, you don't, unless it's like some kind of world star fight or something, you don't really have people stood around you shouting at you and giving you encouragement. It's, you're just trying to win. And for you as a performer, that must be different, but at least you've seen the positive in it. You've taken something away from it. And I'm sure when the crowds do return, it's going to feel even better.
Right. And I actually think it helped. It was my benefit that I did not go to the first taping. I wasn't part of the Pure Championship tournament. So I got to sit home and watch it, and kind of come up with the game plan of how I wanted to approach it. So then when I went to the second set of tapings, I was fully prepared.
And what was it? Obviously, just touching on that, because it's got a lot of traction on Twitter this past couple of weeks. You going one-on-one with Jay Lethal. What was it like working with Jay? Because arguably he's possibly the face of Ring of Honor. So what was that like stepping in the ring with him?
Yeah, he's the franchise. For me, like the 15-year-old boy inside of me is very ecstatic about it, because this is a guy I was watching when I was a teenager. I went to Final Battle as a kid. I would go with my brother and my cousins. We would get in the car, and any Ring of Honor event that was anywhere in the area, we would drive to and we would get to.
Yeah.
We never missed one. So we were fans first, we were fans just like everybody else. And to, fast forward, and I'm actually wrestling with this guy.
Yeah.
It's like I wish I could tell my former self, my teenage self, like, just keep doing what you're doing, stay on track. It's all going to work out. Like, it really is like a dream come true.
That is really cool that you've got to live that dream now, because so many people grow up watching WWE and their goal is to just wrestle in WWE. But with yourself, you've watched Ring of Honor since you were a kid. And I've grown up a Ring of Honor fan, and I can't imagine what it would be like to have that experience. Well, for yourself, I mean, who was your favorite Ring of Honor stars growing up? You mentioned Jay Lethal, but who else inspired you?
Well, actually, so Jay he was one of my favorites because he was a local guy. He actually grew up right near me. But my absolute two favorites were Nigel McGuinness and Samoa Joe. Those were my guys. So, and I was so fortunate. I actually got to see Nigel McGuinness win the championship. Actually, he won it in my hometown of Edison, New Jersey.
Awesome.
He beat Takeshi Morishima for it. So I was like,
oh, great match.
Craziness.
Yeah.
And no one expected it too, because I think the match happened like halfway through the show. It was like the way they taped it. Yeah. And it's just one of the greatest moments of my life to see that. So,
he's a very, very underrated guy as well, Nigel. Obviously, we're big fans of him being British, but we have Kerry Silkins, a regular on our show now. And we was talking to Kerry about it, and he said the same thing. Nigel McGuinness is one of the most underrated guys this business has seen. So I totally get that from you saying that. But going back a little bit to your training, obviously you was a big Ring of Honor fan. When did you decide? When was that point where you thought, right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to train?
Well, it wasn't until that Final Battle 2005 event I went to that I got this crazy idea. Before that, I watched WWE. I was a big WWE fan. I watched TNA as well, but I didn't think it was even possible. Like, it just seems crazy to even think about being a pro wrestler. It seems like, I tell people, WWE is very Hollywood. When you think of it, it's so out of reach, it feels like. But then when I saw Ring of Honor up close and personal, I kind of realized, wow, you can actually become a wrestler. This is real. Like, you can go to a school and you can do this. So just seeing it up close and personal kind of made me believe. Yeah. So that event, and then maybe somewhere between that and like high school graduation. So around that time, because I knew I was going to go to university and finish that up. But I was like, you know what, I want to wrestle though. Like, I just kept it to myself though. I didn't want to tell anybody because I knew my parents would not like it at all. So I was like, let me do what they want. They want me to go to school and get my degree and everything. So I'll handle that. But at the same time, I'm going to prepare myself for wrestling.
Yeah. Well, and obviously you were trained by Eric Corvus.
Yes.
What was it like learning from him? I know he's doing really well with Synergy. He's challenging for the world title Black Friday next week. What was it like learning and training from Eric?
Yeah, just before we even get there, thank you guys for watching Synergy. That was cool that you said that. I was like, wow, that's just to know that somebody's watching from across the pond. It's really cool. Man, Eric is I'd like to say that he's a genius. He's like such a great trainer as well.
Yeah,
it's funny because I met him through backyard wrestling. You know what I mean? So like a lot of guys from my generation, we all did backyard wrestling.
Right.
I met him backyard wrestling, and I think we just kind of connected a bit because he was already doing his pro wrestling stuff, and I think maybe he saw something in me, which was cool, and he took a liking to me. And he had his own private ring, and he was training guys like me. Actually, my brother trained for a little bit, my younger brother, KTB.
Oh yeah,
and a few other guys. So
awesome.
I remember the summer. It was actually the summer of 2010, and we would just go to his house and train and just bust our ass in the ring and sweat in the sun. But I learned all of my basics. I learned all the fundamentals, and
yeah,
he broke me in. I feel like obviously it's a traditional way to do it, but he did a great job. He took care of me, and he always looked out for me. And I took that, when I moved on to different schools. I'm so happy and grateful that he taught me the right way in the beginning.
Yeah, that's important to know, isn't it? Not
Yeah.
every trainee gets that benefit, knowing how the business works and what to look out for when you first start. I imagine knowing that's helped a lot in your career.
Oh yeah, I see a lot of guys who, everybody's journey is different. I've seen guys like even like Janela, who he would learn before shows. He would go to the shows and set up, and he would learn in the ring a little bit. I've heard of guys who've trained 3 times and then they go take bookings. So it's like everyone's got a different path.
Yeah.
My path was wrestling in a backyard first. I did a whole summer of training, and then I started going to training at schools and things like that. So actually, I was talking to Drew Cordero before this call from Beyond Wrestling, and he reminded me my first ever match was 10 years ago, like a week ago.
Oh, really?
So taping with Beyond Wrestling.
That's awesome. So you've just had your decade in business.
My unofficial 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah. You're a veteran now.
Yeah. There were no fans there, but I mean, my like official debut was next March. I did it in my hometown, but my first match in front of like the guys was November 2010.
Did you celebrate it whatsoever? Have you still got that match on tape or anything? Did you watch it back?
I have access to it. I can find it.
Yeah, you need to watch it back, mate.
It's awful. It's so bad. It's so bad. I'm pretty sure I got a concussion. I got it.
You mentioned Synergy as well. I know you've wrestled for Synergy. Yeah. What was that like? Because again, we spoke to Colin a couple of weeks ago, who was just one of
He's such a cool guy. Absolutely love Colin.
Fantastic.
We spent an hour just talking about British comedy programs before we even got to wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we spoke about wrestling. We spoke about sitcoms.
That's funny.
But yeah, what's it like being working for Synergy and Colin then? What's that been like?
Colin's another guy. I've known him for years. I actually met him through that backyard crew, and he's just a good guy, and he's a smart guy. And I love what he's put together. He's put together a very professional promotion. And especially in 2020, he's done such a fantastic job of keeping everyone safe.
Yeah.
And just running a nice tight ship, because I don't know if you guys know this, New Jersey is like the Wild West when it comes to wrestling. There are no rules. There's no athletic commission. There's their death matches are the hottest thing right now. There's blood and guts and everything like every weekend. But his events are very professional. He's doing a great job of keeping everyone safe. And he's always looked out for me. So I've always gotten great matches there. I had that match with Eric Corbis in January, which is one of my favorites of my career. And then the last few months have just been great. Like my match with Jordan Oliver and Casey Catal, and the last one with Matt Vertigo. I feel like it's a place where I can go to shine. Because prior to this, I was just doing the coast to coast tag team thing for a long time.
Yeah.
And 2020 was supposed to be like my breakout year as a singles star. Obviously that wasn't really happening with everything shutting down, but now that we've picked things up a bit, he's giving me the chance to show what I can do.
That's good. Yeah.
It's kind of gotten me ready for Ring of Honor.
Sure. Yeah, that's good. Like you said, it's good that you've been able to wrestle still, because a lot of people, their careers have kind of been put on hold this year. And, you know, a lot of people said this was meant to be my breakout year. This was the year I was going to do things. And now it's delayed until 2021. But it's good to hear that you've been able to, you know, keep up and keep that momentum going, especially into Ring of Honor, which is a place where I'm guessing you need to keep sharp. You know,
yeah, people don't realize this. So a majority of the roster, they're exclusive talent, so they can't work anywhere else. These guys haven't wrestled in 8 months, whatever. I've been at it. You know, I'm ready to go. So like I'm almost happy that I'm not signed. I'm a free agent right now. So I'm still great terms with Ring of Honor, but I'm a free agent. So I can still do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And I can get ready and have all these events under my belt and just get fully prepared and walk in like I'm ready to go. And all these guys, they've been sitting at home playing video games for 8 months.
Yeah,
so.
you've got an advantage here. You're going to walk straight back in, challenge for the Ring of Honor Championship. You know, you're ready.
Why not? It's like, hey man, if Roosh, you don't get to if you don't get here from Mexico soon, I'm just gonna take it.
Yeah.
Before we talk a bit about Ring of Honor as well, before we mention Ring of Honor a bit more as well, I was doing a bit of research and I did see you've competed in a dog collar match at Wrestle Pro. What was that like? Because obviously one of my favourite matches is Roddy Piper, Greg Valentine. So what was it like competing in that, and how I guess different? I guess you have to change your style, maybe. I mean, what was it like competing in that?
Yeah, a bit. But I love the challenge. You know, people I think have this perception of me that I'm this like just only a high flyer and I'm just jumping off the top rope and doing springboards and things like that. But I pride myself on being able to tell good stories in the ring with my body, and I'm a good technical wrestler. So, and then the guy I wrestled, his name is Sean Donovan. He's the messiah of old school. This guy like personifies old school.
Yeah,
he's like the embodiment of it in 2020. So like having and we've had a long-standing feud, and this was like the next step in it, and just the level of intensity. We were ready to kill each other. So like, once we got the dog collar in, it was just like I really felt like a dog, like ready to kill somebody. And I'm really proud of the match. And we're very proud of it too, because it's actually the first time a dog collar match has ever happened in that part of the world. Alaska hasn't had a lot of wrestling. Alaska is so remote. I was part of the first ladder match ever, and that was part of the first dog collar match. And then we're going back in April, and me and Donovan are having a Singapore cane match, the first ever Singapore cane match.
Is there anywhere we can see these matches? I'd be interested in seeing them.
They will be streaming on the Wrestle Pro Alaska Facebook page.
Awesome. I'll have to look out for that. I really would love to see how a dog collar match is put together outside of like the WWE bubble or AEW or something. Like, I'd love to see how just two people who have complete control of their match would put one together. You know, that seems really interesting.
That's the greatness of independent wrestling, is the freedom to be creative and, you know, express yourself.
Did you go back and watch the Piper Valentine match at all for tips?
Yeah. And I trained with Sean, so we had a lot of time to talk about it and just pick each other's brains, and the best ones are from the past. So, and obviously it's weird because those matches don't happen anymore. I can't even remember the last time one happened. When was the last time in WWE? I can't remember.
I feel like we're going back at least 15 years, if not more.
Yeah, it's been a
long time.
It's been a while, But it's one of my favourite matches. Is obviously Valentine Piper. So we are definitely going to check that one out with you and Sean Donovan. I love matches like that.
Yeah, because no one has seen these. We can introduce old things,
and it's
new. Do new things. We can be creative. And we have the leeway.
Yeah, I think that's like you said, it's the beauty of the indies. You can introduce things to the indies which haven't been done for a while, and it's new, but you can also put your own spin on it as well. Like, I'd love to see a dog collar match that is like a slightly more high flying fight kind of thing, you know, because you'd never see that in AEW or WWE because it's more traditional, and I understand that, but I'd love to see a different spin on a dog collar match and a strap match and, you know, that kind of thing. I'm definitely interested in seeing that. When it's up on the Facebook, will you let us know so we can check it out?
Yeah, I will send you the link.
Awesome.
Well, I'll send you the link for the dog collar match because that's been up. He saw it, so I will send
Hell
it.
yeah.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. So obviously, moving on, then, obviously, big Ring of Honor fan as a kid. How did it come about getting that Ring of Honor call and then going to Ring of Honor?
So I was trained at the Monster Factory, the world famous Monster Factory.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys don't know it, it's the place where Sheamus and Big Show,
Yeah.
Raven, the Headbangers, the current Matt Riddle, Damian Priest. This is just a long list of names that have trained there. And I think this was back in 2014. Ian Riccoboni, he was our commentator. Our coach, Danny Cage, wanted to bring in Kevin Kelly to help Ian and also help all the students with the promos and interviews. So we all got to meet Kevin Kelly. It was a fantastic seminar, fantastic class.
Mm-hmm.
And he suggested that me, Ian Riccoboni, my former tag team partner Shaheem, and Punisher Martinez all go to the Ring of Honor tryout. Right. I guess, he felt like we were ready.
Yes.
So we all went to the tryout. We had a good showing. We got invited to train at the Ring of Honor dojo. And luckily it's very close to where I live, so it's maybe an hour away. We started just putting in the work and training with Delirious. And Shaheem and I would just go on the road and do ring crew stuff, just to show a face and just be part of the production. And then we just got lucky one night. We were in Nashville, Tennessee, actually in the old asylum where TNA used to have their tapings. Yeah. And Shaheem and I had just taken a break. We went to get food and we just stuffed our face because we didn't think we were wrestling. And Kevin Kelly comes up to us and he says, "Hey guys, do you have your gear with you?" We're like, "Of course." He's like, "Okay, you're on TV tonight. You're on TV tonight."
Wow.
So I ran to the bathroom. I just started like throwing up my food. I put on like 3 layers
before the match. Yeah,
I was jump roping for an hour. I was doing jumping jacks for an hour. I was doing cardio just to sweat it all out.
God.
And that's it. And then from there, it just started taking off and just like small matches, like dark matches, and then TV matches.
Yeah.
And
that must have been cool for you, though. Like I said, being a big Ring of Honor fan growing up, even training with Delirious must have been a cool experience.
It's so weird. Like once you cross that barrier of like a fan to peer, and you get to actually see the man behind the mask and talk to him and things like that. It's like, wow, this is what's been under there this whole time.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it's enlightening.
Yeah, that's cool. I can't imagine what that would be like. It's I've been a big Ring of Honor fan, so is Jamie, for a long time, and I think it's one of those promotions that's just generated so many stars for the business. I really do think without Ring of Honor, you wouldn't have half the top talent in AEW or WWE today. If you, and that sounds an exaggeration. Just looking at like Tyler Black, Bryan Danielson, Nigel McGuinness, Samoa Joe. You can argue that Samoa Joe was TNA's homegrown talent, but he wasn't. He was in Ring of Honor first. Jay Lethal, these are all guys who are influential in the business and have started in Ring of Honor or made their name in Ring of Honor. Like for you, are you seeing that as like what you want to happen as well? Ring of Honor is your platform to make your name for yourself.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I would love to one day get an opportunity with WWE, but in the moment, I'm not really worried about that. I want to just do the best I can in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And I have a lot to prove here. There are a lot of guys I have not wrestled yet. And, if I ever do leave Ring of Honor, I want to leave it a better place. I want people to remember me. And, right, I'm just trying to live in the moment right now.
Dude, that would be awesome. Like, give it 5 years' time, we might be saying the same thing about you, where we're saying Tyler Black, Bryan Danielson, and people are throwing your name in there too, of these great people who came out of Ring of Honor. But like you said, leave it in a better state that you found it in, and that's high praise for Ring of Honor because it's already in a good state. So if you leave it better than you found it, that's only good for the business and yourself. You mentioned you'd like to work with WWE one day. That is something I did find quite a bit when I was researching yourself. A lot of comments on Reddit, especially, where people are saying they can see you fitting into like an NXT environment, and I think that's true. You've got that kind of style. You seem like you're definitely what I'd say is like TV ready. You're ready for any company to pick you up. You seem polished in the ring. And that's not just blowing smoke up your ass. I think you're actually you are actually that good. So
I appreciate that.
For yourself, like what's your next challenge for yourself then? What's your next goal in mind? You said you want to make a name in Ring of Honor, but what's your goal for 2021? I know that's quite a big question, but
right
out of this year, you must have something you're keen and eager to do.
Right. So there are a few things that definitely I just need to do because it's eating away at me. So one thing I need to do is absolutely return to Germany because I love WXW and I had a great experience there. And I made such a good, I have my own family there now. Like, just a crew. I got to train in the academy and everything like that. And I'm so close with everyone and made a lot of great new friends and fans out there. So I want to go back, better than I was, in 2018. I definitely need to go to Japan. That's also killing me because my girlfriend went to Japan. She was with Stardom in 2017, and I was just like watching her do this, and I was like sitting at home, just like freaking out. I was like, I need to be in Japan. Like, like my brother and I grew up watching Pro Wrestling Noah, so like that was also another factor in like us wrestle. And so it's a dream of mine to go to Japan, and I mean, hopefully, like Ring of Honor has a great relationship with New Japan and the dojo and everything like that. So maybe that's in store. And then I can't say no to like NXT because I have so many friends that are there right now, and I'm watching them. I love watching NXT. I love the product.
It's good. Yeah,
I love NXT and NXT UK, and so seeing guys like Anthony Green or who's August Gray now, or my former trainer Damian Priest. Guys like that, or Kurt Stallion, and there's just so many names that people that are there that are thriving, and I'm like, you know what? Well, like we've been to the same places, we wrestled each other, we trained at the same places. Like I feel like I could be on that same path.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I would, and I feel like I could fit in, and I feel like I could fit in.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Like I said, it's no exaggeration. I really do think you seem like that NXT kind of person. Like there's a certain kind of wrestler who you just see and you think, yeah, they're going to be in NXT one day, and that's not everybody, but you seem like that. I don't know. It's almost like the way you wrestle. You can tell that's what your goal is, and that's a good thing because, obviously, like I said, NXT is such a good product. I feel like it's so many people watch Dynamite and say they just prefer Dynamite because it's AEW. Whereas I like both shows. I like Dynamite and I like NXT. Right. But for me, NXT's always just been a step ahead. I like everything they do. I think the in-ring product is actually better. Is that somewhat like you said? NXT is your goal eventually. Then, like that's where you'd like to go.
I think so. I mean, Dynamite's awesome too. I mean, I love watching AEW, and that's another one. Like my other coach, QT Marshall, he's over there too. So it's like it's cool the connections you make because you never know where your career is going to go. Like I could be done with Ring of Honor tomorrow, and I would want to go somewhere else. So like you have to build your network.
That's true. I mean,
you never know where your career is going to take you.
Look at AEW Dark and the amazing work AEW Dark's doing for the independents. I mean, over this pandemic, AEW Dark has given so many independent names a chance to still wrestle, get a paycheck, but also get exposure as well on the national level, global level. And there's so many names that we've spoken to who were found through AEW Dark, and then they've ended up getting signed by some company. And it's just incredible. That great, like, complete respect to AEW for giving them that platform and doing that.
It's so cool. It's so cool because in the past WWE would give people dark matches and things like that, but they would never see the light of day.
Yeah.
So I mean, it helped you as a performer because it helped you kind of give you introduction into what WWE's like, but it didn't help boost you on the independence. You do that one AEW Dark match and that like helps you so much.
Yeah, because you've got something you can show a promoter and say, this is me in AEW.
Right. Anthony Bowens, who's now one half of Acclaimed, the new tag team that just got signed. He's one of my good friends. He's from WrestlePro, my local promotion. He went down there with Max Caster, and they just did such a great job that
they're killing it right now. I love that team.
Signing this guy.
Yeah, is it the 5-tool player, Anthony Bowens, and Max Caster? Because Max Caster's doing like a rap.
He does the
the rapping. The freestyling thing, yeah. And I didn't know anything really about them at first, but then they came out and I was like, I love these guys. They're incredible.
And what's crazy, people don't realize this, they never ever tag teamed before. They never tagged before Dark.
They've got such good chemistry already.
We're all trained by the same guy. So like we have probably the same mentality on like how to approach things in the ring and stuff. So and we've known each other forever. Max Caster does the Wrestle Pro shows, and so we just all known each other for a while. So I think they just have probably the same. They're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, that's so cool. I didn't know. I thought they were a tag team that I just hadn't been following. But
yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, I knew what I mean. Yeah, obviously, you mentioned obviously as well Japan. You was part of the War of the Worlds. So you did get a bit of a taste. I mean, being in the ring with some of the New Japan talent. What was that experience like? I mean, you was in there. I think you was in with Shingo, and a few others. What was that experience like, getting to sort of rub shoulders with those guys?
Crazy. I remember actually the first time I got in a ring with the New Japan talent. It was Gato and Yano in a tag team match.
Wow.
And it was like, oh man, I'm in here with like legendary guys.
Yeah.
And they're just so smart, and they're just so smart about how they put the matches together, and their just approach to the matches, and they are stars, especially Yano, the way he like just does things in the ring. and Shaheem and I were so young still. We were still new in the Ring of Honor, and we got to wrestle them, and they did a great job of just helping us and elevating us. So that was the first time. And we had a lot of matches with they used to be called the what were they called? Tempora Boys. Now they were Punky 3K.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when they came here for their excursion, they were the Tempora Boys. But Sho and Yo are professionals.
Yeah.
Sho and Yo are amazing. I love those guys, and we wrestled them so many times, and now I've become great friends with them, and just to see what they've done now in New Japan is it's inspiring. They took their time in America and just like they used it to bump them up to the next level.
Definitely, yeah. They were such underrated guys at first, weren't they? Like, I don't feel like they got enough credit, but it's good to see them finally getting some recognition, and people know how good they are now as well.
Yeah, isn't it crazy? You see, like Watanabe, he turns into evil, and it's just like it's night and day.
Yeah,
I think that experience over here and working with Ring of Honor like just does a great deal for them.
They get to see some character, doesn't it? Like it helps them find who they are.
Right. Yeah, it's just it's very cool. I wish we had that kind of stuff here in America, but we don't. Right off the bat, kids come to training the first day and they already have a gimmick in their head. Like,
yeah,
we're in Japan.
That's so true.
In Japan, it's like, no, you're doing 1,000 squats.
Yeah, doing 1,000 squats. Yeah. You're all going to wear black trunks, black knee pads, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what I love with those. Well, with New Japan as well, and the Japanese wrestling. It's treated more like a legit sport, you know, and there's a huge respect around it. And it's something that has made me a huge fan because of that respect. And it's somewhere that I could definitely see you at. Sho and Yo came over here a couple of years ago. That's when I first saw them on a UK show, and it was when I think there were young lions that came out in just the black trunks, and there's a few people in the crowd like, who are these guys? Who are these guys? And then as soon as the bell rang, it was like, holy shit, these guys are so good. But obviously, Sho and Yo, am I right in thinking you was in the ring as well with Shingo?
No, not Shingo. Never did. I wish.
Yeah. I thought I'd seen someone.
No, Shingo hasn't been. I don't think Shingo has wrestled like as a New Japan star in America yet.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I must have misread something, but I mean, is that someone you'd like to be in the ring with? Because it'd be a completely different style for yourself.
I would love that because I mean, I used to, like you said, I used to watch Ring of Honor back in the day in the 2000s when Dragon Gate and Ring of Honor had that partnership. So Shingo was like a regular.
Yeah. How much, you know, like you were saying before about some wrestlers who are night and day. I kind of feel like it's the same with Shingo because he was good before, but with age, he's only got like 10 times better than he was even in Ring of Honor.
Oof, yeah, I just watched that Suzuki and Shingo match from, what was it, last week or a week?
Yeah.
2 ago? And I'm like, man, Shingo was so good 15 years ago, and he's like,
he's even better now.
now.
Yeah. But it's like you look at
You don't hear about him for a while, and then he just shows up again and just like,
he's absolutely ripped as well.
yeah.
But that's it. I mean, and like you mentioned Suzuki as well. I mean, Suzuki's what, 50, 51?
Yeah.
And, you know, look at the guy.
I know, that was crazy too. When we did Madison Square Garden, we got to be in the ring with guys like him and Taguchi and a bunch of other guys. Muda was in that match in the Honor Rumble. I was like, dude, this is crazy. Like,
Yeah. Is that so? So is Suzuki as scary as everybody thinks he is then?
he's that's a good question, because he's a very nice guy, but he looks like at any moment notice he could just snap. Like, you don't really know what's going on in his head. He's just like he's a very nice, like, calm, gentle man. But then but he's got this crazy, like, he's got these crazy eyes. I don't know.
You know, at any point, if he wanted to kill you, he could.
Exactly. And he just sit there, like, laugh, like, ha 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 ha. Like,
imagine that would be quite unnerving, actually, if he's just sat there laughing to himself. I'd be like,
yeah, right.
I'd be a bit scared.
Obviously, as well, before we start to wrap things up, we have to ask you as well, because I mentioned him earlier. He's become quite a regular on our show. And I did see that he tweeted out during the week singing your praises. What's it like being getting to know Kerry Silkin?
Kerry has been absolutely wonderful to me. I've known him since day one, since I started at Ring of Honor, and he always looks out for the guys. Like, he treats everybody as an equal. I always really love that and appreciate that, because it's not the same case everywhere else. You know, you go to other promotions and there are tiers. And at Ring of Honor, we're all treated as equals. So at Kerry, as being like a pioneer in Ring of Honor, and being, you know, one of the guys that helped run it and take it, you know, off the ground in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It means a lot to me personally that he looks out for us, especially the young talent. So Kerry, if you listen to this, thank you so much. We love you.
Yeah, what a guy.
I mean, he's almost, I guess you could call him the godfather of Ring of Honor. He is. Yeah. But we love him. He came on one episode, and we've done 3 with him now. And I think he's coming back in a week or 2. And he's just the sweetest guy. We literally love him to bits. But I mean, the stories that man's got as well are just incredible.
They're crazy. They're crazy.
I mean,
have you listened to his podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely had an more interesting life than most people.
Oh yeah, I can't even.
Yeah, I was saying to a friend of mine earlier, I was like, we've got Kerry coming on again. I think we could do episodes for the rest of our lives and never run out of a story.
Yeah,
it's just, you know, he's just,
that's your man.
Oh man, he's a sweetheart, and yeah, I say I'll pass that on as well, because he's coming back on, I think, on Thursday. So I'll make sure we pass your regards on to him.
Awesome.
But before we let you go, because I believe we're speaking to Gabby Ortiz later. And,
yeah, you are.
Someone you're familiar with.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a bit.
Yeah.
I told her yesterday, I was like, oh man, because, you know, we had to shift the podcast the time. I was like, I got this podcast tomorrow. And then I just messaged them. They said, yeah, you know, we've got a podcast with Gabby Ortiz. I was like, oh yeah, okay. I know her.
It makes it sound like we just speak to everybody, doesn't it? If everyone's speaking to Ringsiders, like, oh yeah, me too. I'm speaking to them tomorrow.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
We'll tell you said really nice things about her all the way through the show. Don't worry.
Thank you so much. That helps a lot.
We got you.
Before you go though, anything you want to promote, plug your social medias, merchandise?
Yeah. So, okay. I just had actually 2 big matches this weekend. The big one was with Brian Pillman Jr. on Friday. That you can find on the Title Match Network, so titlematchnetwork.com. That was for a New England All-Star Wrestling, which was a really cool match. And then right now I'm just getting ready for the Bubble. We have Final Battle coming up December 18th. Check that out on pay-per-view or on the Honor Club. So check me out, LSG Ace of Space. Look me up on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. I don't know, man. TikTok, I don't think I want to do that. My girlfriend loves TikTok.
Nah, don't do that.
I'll just do guest appearances on her TikTok.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And YouTube as well. I've got some cool footage from my travels that I will be uploading.
Awesome. I'll leave all the links in the description as usual anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no man, it's been an absolute pleasure. And again, we say it all the time, we'd love to get you back on at some point down the road as well.
Thank you.
Chat some more. We'll pass your best on to Kerry when we see him and speak to him. But yeah, thank you so much, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. He is Leon St. Giovanni. We are Ringsiders.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.